My journey to joy has been a really mixed basket of like a bunch of things. So I think everybody kind of focuses on what went wrong, why did you end up in this place, what got you out of this place, and whatever. And that's fair and fine. Like, it's important to examine those things. But I always feel like I've learned certain things from certain people along the way. And I always say that you everybody that comes into your life for a reason. So you might think that the person came into your life and they ruined it, or they did stuff to you that you didn't like, or they hurt you, or they betrayed you, or they broke your heart, or whatever. Um, but at the same time, there were things about that person that had you in that situation for as long as it was. If it was a month, or it was 8 years, or it was 2 days, you were interacting with this person. You allowed this person into your space, and because you did that, there's things that you picked up. There's reasons why you had that person around you. I have a really, really close friend who always would tell me, give yourself things to look forward to. And so coming out of very dark phases in my life, or times in my life when I always felt like I'm giving up, or I don't want to be here, or this is not something that I want to do, I've carried that with me, sort of, just to remind myself all the time that there's reasons why you get up and you keep going. So what are your reasons? And I've had to give myself reasons over the past maybe 5 years. And so it's really interesting to note that 5 years ago, we were in the year 2015, and I think that I was probably at my absolute lowest, thinking, oh my God, I'm never going to survive this. This is the end of me. This is death. This is disaster. I failed. I'm such a failure. I literally said to my mom one time, I was like, I failed. I'm such a failure. Like, everything that I ever wanted to do in life, everything that I ever wanted to achieve or to give to people, I failed to do because I'm just like worthless. Like, I wasted everybody's time. And when you're in those moments, you kind of sit there and you think, this is it, this is the end, this is all I'm going to do. You have a panic attack, you have an anxiety attack, you have nightmares of people coming into your house trying to kill you. This is a true story that actually happened. I used to sleep with a knife under my pillow. And nobody was coming to kill me. But this is 5 years later, and I can look back at that and make jokes about myself, or make jokes about that situation, because one thing that is like constant and consistent in my life and in the lives of the people that are around me is the fact that you survive things. So you wake up today and you think this is the end, this is the bottom, but you'll get up and you'll keep going, and 5 years later you'll be looking back and thinking about it and saying, wow, I didn't think I was going to make it through that, but look, I did. And everything that comes to you and everything that happens to you, good or bad, is always like an opportunity for you to learn, an opportunity for you to grow, an opportunity for you to sort of change and become better. And I think that's one thing that I've definitely had to internalize over the years, and just be like, what can I get out of this? What is the lesson? That's a big question for me. I always say the living is in the lessons, because what is the lesson? What you learn from that place that you're at, and whatever it is that you're going through, or whatever it is that you're dealing with, is the reason why you were there. And once you learn that lesson, the situation changes. And that's happened to me so many times. I had a moment where I was like, I don't have anything to my name, and like, this is what it is. And I was probably like, let's see, I was 28, and asking my mom to send me money for airtime, because I was that messed up. Like, life was that bad. And sitting there thinking, this is it. Like, this is going to be my life. I better just move back to her house and continue like eating her food and charging my phone using her electricity, because I don't have a plan. I don't know what I'm going to do. And sitting there in that moment, you can decide that that's your life, or you can give yourself reasons. And so I've had to give myself reasons to just keep going. So in that case, it was, okay, so what do I want to do? Why do I still want to be here? Who cares? Because for me, I'm a very big show me you care person. And so who cares? If I die today, who will it affect? If I make it tomorrow, who's going to be proud of me? Those are my reasons. And so you give yourself reasons, and you're like, okay, this is going to keep me going. This is going to keep me going. And then something else comes along and like knocks you back, and you have to give yourself different reasons to keep going. So for some people, it might be a job, or it might be a child that you have that you can't let down, or a parent that has invested years and years and years and years in their whole life in you, and you don't want to let them down, or you don't want to give up on yourself, because then it will be like everything that they invested in you is a waste, or whatever it is. But you give yourself reasons. And so the reasons are, you wake up in the morning on Monday because you have to go to that job, or you go to that job on Monday because you have to make sure that that child has food, or you pass that exam because that parent paid your school fees and you don't want those school fees to be a waste. You give yourself reasons. And it's not the easiest thing, because sometimes the reasons just aren't enough. So I'd say I don't have a reason today, so why am I getting up? Why am I even doing this? And then I don't get up because on that day I just didn't have a reason. But maybe the next day, or maybe 3 days later, I'll get up because I found something to keep me going. And so that is how you end up surviving being 28 and having to ask your mom for airtime, or having to go back from having your own home to having to go back to living at home because you couldn't pay your rent because you didn't have a job, or breaking up with someone that you really, really loved and you thought, this is it for me, this is the guy, and like, I love him and he's amazing and we've survived so many things and he's just everything to me, and my mom loves him, my dad loves him, my sisters love him. And then you break up, and then it's like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I'm like, oh, and that happened when I was 28 too. So yeah, you have to give yourself reasons. And I can laugh today because I decided that I was gonna be happy. I didn't know where I was gonna get that from, but a day just came and I said, you know what, I have to fight for myself. I have to fight for myself. I have to fight for me. There's a reason why I'm here. There's a reason why I am doing everything that I'm doing. There's a reason why I have 6 siblings. There's a reason. So whatever that reason is, I have to figure it out, and I have to be on this earth and do what I'm supposed to do, and I have to be happy because I want to be happy. And so that became my reason every day. Is like, I'm going to take one step forward. I'm going to give myself stuff to look forward to. On days when I really don't want to get up, I think about all the things that I want to buy. That makes me get up, because those are reasons. And having that, you sort of transform yourself from someone that's losing, from someone that's quitting, from someone that's giving up, from someone that's not trying. Because, you know, I was told that you don't try, you give up on things, you procrastinate, you let stuff drop when you can actually push through. You were onto something and you gave up. And I gave up because maybe I didn't have a reason to keep going that day. But now it's like, what do I want to do? Why do I want to do it? Why am I here? What's my purpose in this life? What is the reason? If I wake up today and I don't do what it is that I was supposed to do today, who am I doing a disservice to? And having that in the back of my mind is kind of like giving me a reason to keep going. And so I think that's been like the biggest lesson that I've learned from anything that has ever happened to me, or ever happened to somebody that I loved, that like disturbed me or made me feel like, you know, life is not fair, God is not watching, God doesn't listen to my prayers. It's just like, there's a reason why I'm still here. Because if it was done and you were done and you were, the purpose for you being on this earth was done, you wouldn't wake up tomorrow. Which is why people kind of think about like death. Death is a really morbid thing to think about. But when you think about it, maybe there was one person that person touched, or that baby touched, or that father who was in a car accident. There's always something that you will get out of even the most tragic event that is a reason for something happening. And there's a reason for you to just move on. And so for me, that's been like my journey to joy. Just waking up every day and being like, why am I here? What am I doing today? What am I looking forward to? Okay, that's what's gonna keep me going. And we made it 5 years. I'm Scarlett, and that is my story.